What's going on, people? What is going on? Where are we? Look at this. Who's a fan of Jordan? Look at the Jordan shoes. Hey, I'm a kid from the 70s, so I'm a Jordan fan. Look at that. And my babies are here too. Yes. So Jordan commentary aside, I'm here with the girls. It's kind of hot, so we walked around a little bit, so I always try to bring them in so they can cool off a little bit. And it's also a good chance for us to practice this. Remember, I showed you this before. See, being able to have your dogs inside a store while you're actually walking into something, it's part of the training, a huge part of the training. So I'm here looking at these Jordan shoes and reminiscing about the past, which is something so nice. I'm a huge Jordan fan. And then I just stopped here, use that opportunity to put my dogs on a down, have them relax, especially work on the little one over here, and make sure she's okay with this. And like I said, the more you do this with the dog, the better they become when it comes to settling down in public places, not being bothered by everything else, understanding that this is a pause, that we're gonna keep walking, but for right now, all she needs to do is pause down. So for her, it's a little bit more difficult, but for Emma, everything's good. So I try to do this as often as I can to make sure this little one gets the message and does this perfectly. When you're walking in the store, this is a tip for people that work with e-collars like I do. See, I have my e-collar in the same hand that I have the dogs because I'm holding the camera here. A lot of people don't know how to do this, but put your dial in a number that you know that matters to the dog. It's a little bit higher than usual because you're in a public spot. You want to make sure a simple tap can convey the message. So always make sure you're ready for that. If you're doing something else, I mean, your remote should be here, right? Or on your other hand, but at the same time, you're not looking at the display all the time. So you have to make sure your number is set to a level that is going to be meaningful if you need to interrupt their behavior at any point. Now, people, always remember this is spring, summer is coming up, it's getting hotter and hotter every day. So you need to make sure your dogs can cool off, especially if you're in one of these social journeys like I am today. I bring them here all the time. So in the middle of the walk, I'll go into a store, not only for training purposes, but to make sure the dogs can refresh and cool off. Dogs can heat up really quickly, especially if you have dark coat dogs, like the little one over here. So sometimes you feel like it's nice and warm for you. That can be too hot for the dog. So always keep that in mind, right? If you're in a social setting like this, if you've been walking for 10, 15 minutes, go inside a place with air conditioning, let your dogs cool off for a little bit, put them on a down. This is training and it's also healthy for them. Topic of today, I want to talk about options for training, right? A lot of people look for dog trainers and they really don't understand what they're expecting, or maybe they do, but they just don't think that's an option to kind of partition the training based on what they need. So let's talk about that for a little bit. I believe most dogs lack social skills. To me, that's one thing that doesn't really need to be pointed out too often, because you see how dogs usually behave outside in social settings like this. Number one, you rarely see any dogs, and when you do, most of the time they're not well behaved. So this is a gap in the market that I see, and this is one of the things that I provide to my clients, the opportunity to have classes just to focus on this. Now, what do your dog need to know in order to be in a place like this without issues? Obviously, your dog is going to need to know how to walk on a leash properly. That's number one. But this is something that they can learn in the process, right? I use prong collars and I use e-collars, and that introduction can be made throughout this program. And I think a social program for dogs is something that everybody should look into, because this is the piece that will allow your dog to get out of the house more, to be more of a companion on a full sense, not necessarily just something inside of your house. So this is a super important piece of the puzzle when it comes to training in general. But again, I do understand that a lot of people are not too focused on training inside the house, but they would like to take the dogs outside. So does one thing impact with the other? Yes, it does. I truly believe every dog should be fully trained. However, there are a lot of dogs that are already fully trained and don't get to enjoy this as well. So sure, I think step one would be to go through the entire training program, but on top of that, layer on top of it social experiences. This will be phenomenal. Imagine if we can get all these dogs that are badly behaved to be okay in settings like this. Imagine how many people could take their dogs out more. How many more experiences you'll be able to provide for your dog. It'll be phenomenal, right? So this is one of the things that I'm trying to focus on as a dog trainer here. I want to see more people out with their dogs, not just out in any capacity, out in a true educated capacity with dogs that know what to do and really get to enjoy the outside world. Imagine this. You can get a dog trainer to help you build up your dog's social skills. Take them to places, work with them in different places, adjust their behavior according to the scenario that they're in, getting them used to being around people, other dogs, children, kids, understanding how to not be the center of attention, understanding how to navigate through this whole thing. Wouldn't it be awesome? So it's getting hotter today, so I stopped again. This is us here at the bookstore. It's not too bad, but I don't like to push it too much because I know they can heat up really fast. And when they're in this state, it's a lot easier for them to lay down. So look at this great opportunity. They get to relax, cool off in the air conditioning, but they're also training the down command right here in public in front of everybody else. See how you can use all the situations in your favor and make everything training. So while I'm here talking to you, look at them. You see how important this is? You give your dogs a little bit of space, you let them relax, and you can also relax, sit down here, take some time for yourself, and just watch them. Look at this. This is training 101, people. So when you walk in places like this with the dogs, you have to be quiet. You have to walk around like anybody else would. So this is not about the dogs. This is about your experience. Remember, these places are places for people, not for dogs. So they have to learn how to navigate through this quietly, without creating noise, without creating chaos, without messing with anything, just being here. See, I love doing this all the time, and this is part of the social training that I think every dog should go through.
What's their names?
Again, when you're in places like this, people are going to come to you. They're going to want to see the dogs, or some people will be afraid of them. This is why you have to be very neutral, and you have to teach your dogs to learn how to deal with all that. Don't feel pressure to allow your dog to interact with strangers. That's not the goal for this activity. The goal here is for the dog to simply be and not be bothered by the fact that there are different people, and some people will try to approach them. And you can simply say, my dog is in training, he's not ready for that, and that's it. And most of the time people will understand. But the main goal is to teach your dog to be respectful. He has to understand that here is not a place to play, to jump, to bark, to sniff, to go to the bathroom, or nothing like that. All they have to do is just this. Keep walking behind you and let you lead the way. That's it. So once you're out of the store, everything's the same. Look, same things. Adjust them, keep going, right? Remember, these activities are for the dogs to understand how to neutralize the environment, not to be a part of it, not to interact with it, just simply be with you. This is the social conduct. This is the social behavior that you want out of all your dogs. This is one of the reasons why nobody has ever says anything to me when I walk into a store and say, oh, you can't be here with your dogs. No, because most of the time they don't even notice that the dogs are there. And that, my friends, that is the goal.